Is life insurance a scam? Better yet, is permanent life insurance a scam? Is whole life insurance a scam? Is index universal life a scam? Today in this video, I'm going to talk about all scams when it comes to life insurance. So first and foremost, why is life insurance a scam? Well, I'm going to tell you one reason why life insurance is a scam, and it's based off of limiting beliefs. And the reason why life insurance is a scam based off of limiting beliefs is because that is what we've been taught. Now, when we're taught one thing our entire lives, we have limiting beliefs around a subject, such as life insurance. Who in this space is the one individual that has the most clout, has the biggest audience that talks about life insurance being a scam? You guessed it. It's your boy, Dave Ramsey. Now, Dave Ramsey is a very smart individual, but he also speaks a lot of truths, but he also speaks a lot of lies. And he also speaks a lot to where it's speaking to the general public. So therefore, he has a systematic approach that will tell you that life insurance is a scam because it is benefiting his approach. I'm also going to agree with Dave Ramsey. I also do believe that life insurance can be a scam in certain circumstances if it is set up improperly or given to somebody and they weren't fully educated on what they had, how to use it, or really if they didn't even say that they were the ones that wanted it. Too many times in the industry, agents are convincing. They're in the convincing business. They're trying to convince somebody that they need something when this should be a conversation of what is it that you actually want. Do you want to protect your family? Do you want a place to store money in a liquid, safe place? Do you want to have a death benefit that's everlasting for the rest of your life? Do you want to make your financial portfolio better? What is it that you really want? Do you want a place that you can have your dollar do multiple jobs? What is it that you want? And by you saying what it is that you want, you could then find the right tool, which could be life insurance from any product, from index universal life, whole life, term insurance, variable universal life. There's tons of insurance products that can help you accomplish what it is that you want. And so if you know what you want, then you can then determine if life insurance is a scam. Now, if there are certain things that you don't want, but you're still getting set up with a product that can't help you with those things, well, now that's when life insurance becomes a scam. So first and foremost, I'm going to talk about term insurance, and then I'm going to talk about permanent insurance. And I'm going to bundle these into two separate conversations, and then we'll talk about how it is a scam and how it cannot be a scam. So first and foremost, when we're coming to term insurance, not understanding that term insurance is a term product. And what I mean by that is that it lasts a period of time, and then you no longer have it. Think of it like renting. When you're renting a home, you rent for a period of time. And once you stop renting, you no longer have that property. You don't have any ownership in that property. And so for term insurance, you pay a monthly premium for a period of time. And then once that period of time is over, you no longer have any protection. You no longer have any money, no cash, no nothing entailed with it. But what you did have is protection for a period of time. And so when you look at it from the standpoint of, well, I had protection for my family with a time being, well, that's not a scam. It's just like your home insurance, just like your auto insurance. You have protection for a period of time. Now, when I ask yourself the question is, well, how can term insurance be a scam then? Well, if it's sold to you in a standpoint where you're not educated in how it works, if you think that it's going to last forever, and if you don't even understand that term insurance, it only pays out 1% of the time. Now, if it only pays out 1% of the time, and you realize that term insurance is only going to be a period of time, well, and you weren't educated about that, well, now I feel like it can get kind of scammy because you're sold a product that maybe it wasn't something that you wanted. Maybe you wanted to have cash that was built up in the product. Maybe you wanted to have a death benefit that would last you for your entire life. Maybe you didn't know that term insurance only gets paid out about 1% of the time. See, term insurance is a great way to make the insurance companies wealthy because they have done all of the metrics. They've looked at all the tables for how long people will live for, last for, and they understand that term insurance is going to be their most profitable thing because it is less likely to pay out than permanent insurance. Because permanent insurance, it's guaranteed to pay out. As long as the policy is in force, well, then they have to pay a death benefit out at some point in time. But with the term insurance, they don't have to pay a death benefit if you don't die within a period of time. And odds are, it's only 1% of the time that term product will actually pay out. The other way term insurance can be a scam is if you didn't understand that there are better ways to be more efficient with your dollar. See, a lot of the times we're taught buy term and invest the difference. Now, that's not a terrible strategy for everybody, but there are way more efficient ways to recapture our dollars to essentially have a permanent death benefit essentially for free when you're looking at it from a whole life standpoint or a permanent standpoint, index universal life standpoint, just permanent insurance in general. If I can have more cash value than I put into my policy, and I now have this death benefit that can last me forever, now we've recaptured our dollars. See, the other thing is when we look at term insurance, once we paid out that dollar, we never get that dollar back. And it's not just what did that dollar lose us, what did that dollar actually cost us? It's costing us what that dollar could have been if we invested that dollar somewhere else as well. So it's not just we paid that dollar and that's the dollar we lost, but we also lost the future value of that dollar of what it could have earned us in the future. So if I had paying $50 a month in my term insurance and I could have put that $50 a month into an S&P 500 and I could have get a 7% rate of return over the next 30 years. Well, what would that dollar have actually earned me if it was invested somewhere else? So that's the lost opportunity cost of what that dollar could have earned us from term insurance. When it comes to permanent insurance, there is lots of ways that it can definitely be a scam. So I'm going to now dive into a little bit of how permanent insurance can definitely be a scam. Permanent insurance can be a scam for many reasons. One, you didn't understand it. You didn't understand how it works, how it's used, and the intrinsics of it. Permanent insurance is a great way to have a permanent death benefit that will last the rest of your life. So if you're 30, 50, 100, whenever you die and pass away, you now have this massive death benefit, this massive cash that'll get paid out to your beneficiary. And that beneficiary could be a spouse, it could be kids, it could be trust, it could be charitable, it could be anything that you find value in your life, anything that you care about that you want to essentially make the beneficiary, that can be. So it's a great tool to have a legacy, to be able to pass down death benefit to somebody. It's great for estate planning. There's a death benefit is an amazing tool to help you accomplish your goals. It all comes back to what it is that you want. When it comes to the scammy piece of insurance is that insurance agents will set up insurance a lot of the times to benefit them. I'm not saying this always. I'm not saying that permanent insurance should be a cash value play all the time either. But if cash value is what you want, well, then we want to make sure that we set up the permanent policy to represent the goal that you want. So you should be going to your agent, to your financial professional and saying, hey, I want XYZ. I want my permanent product to represent a place where I can store capital, where I can get cash value, where I can borrow against it to use for other activities such as real estate, business, opportunities, a place to store capital, anything that you find value in, you want to have high cash value, high early cash value. Now, if you say, hey, I want the death benefit and the death benefit is important to me, well, designing the product around the death benefit is also important as well, because the way you design one versus the other, it makes a massive difference. You can design it to where you can pay into the policy for longer, which may do a representation of having a higher death benefit in the future. Or you can have a policy where you can't pay into it as long, or we're shoving as much cash into it for a longer period of time, which can also then represent having higher early cash value. And so when it comes to a permanent insurance product, making sure that we're designing the product to effectively fit what you want. Remember, this is a want conversation, not a need. There's really not a whole lot of things we need in this world except for love, food, a roof over our head, the necessities in life, obviously air, those types of things is what we need. Do I want to protect my family? Do I want to have a place where I can store capital that's liquid, that I have control over? Do I want to have my dollars doing two things at once? What is it that I want to have? And that's the conversation. And so when individuals like Dave Ramsey say that permanent insurance is a terrible place to store money and is a ripoff and it's a scam, well, if that's what you want and you want to have a place to store capital where you can get a decent competitive rate of return that has no taxes, losses, fees, those types of things, and you want to be able to borrow against it and use, but your policy was designed in a way where you can only use it for high death benefit, because then it becomes an expensive permanent policy, right? Because people always say all the time, well, why would I pay for a permanent product? It's like 20 times more expensive than term insurance. Well, yes, in a specific format, if it's designed for the death benefit, yeah, if we're paying premiums to have a death benefit for permanent, well, you're probably going to be paying more money for that. Now, there is some convolution to that, because when you're looking at it, even if we design it specifically for the death benefit, there will be a period of time where we'll be able to recapture those term dollars because we'll have a permanent death benefit. So even from an overall estate planning perspective, or an overall what our financial portfolio looks like, even having a designed whole life permanent index universal life product that is designed for death benefit can still be more beneficial in the long term, even if our whole design was specifically for cash value. But now, if we want it to be specifically for cash value, we should go into the intent from the very beginning of designing it for you to fit your wants. And so I agree with Dave. I agree with Susie. I agree with these people that say whole life insurance is a scam if it's designed improperly, if it's going to benefit the agent more than the individual, and if it's with a company that doesn't make a ton of sense. So for instance, there are companies out there that should never be selling whole life insurance. If they're not a mutual company, they should never be selling whole life insurance because there's no dividend that gets paid out to you. See, there's a guaranteed contractual piece to whole life insurance. There's also a dividend. A dividend gets paid out to you as a policy holder. You are now an owner of the company. And based off of the profitability of the insurance company, you're going to get a dividend on top of that. And if that's the case, well, we don't want to use a company that doesn't pay a dividend that's a stock company, because if you're with a stock company, well, the stock / the dividend is going to get paid to the stockholders. It has its financial duties to making sure that the first person that gets taken care of is the stockholders. In a mutual company, their right is to the mutual partners in that company, which would be you as the policyholder. Therefore, you're going to get the dividend based off of the profitability of that company. Therefore, when we're looking at whole life insurance, we should always be with a company that is going to be using a mutual model. And when it comes to index universal life, we should look at a company that's been around, that has a track record, that has good, strong financials, that hasn't been scammy and doesn't do certain multipliers and things like that can get people into trouble, that haven't had past lawsuits, that are reputable in general, and that that are going to be around for a long time as well. So making sure you're with the right company, making sure the product is designed right, and making sure that it fits what you want are all important. And that's why it's important just to work with somebody that you like, you trust, you understand, that can explain it to you effectively, and working with somebody that makes insurance not a scam. Because I truly believe in what Dave Ramsey says, that life insurance can be a scam. And I also truly believe in what we say here at the And Asset. If it's designed properly from a permanent product, and it's designed properly from a term insurance product, and it fits the wants of what it is that you want, well, then it can't be a scam. If you want X, Y, and Z, and that product helps you accomplish that goal, then how can it be a scam? It's only a scam if you get scammed because you are into a product that you shouldn't be in. You get put into a product that you don't even want. That's when you have buyer's remorse. That's when you look back and your friends start to tell you something and you start to question everything about what you thought you knew. If you're having those questions and you have this internal feeling in your gut of like, well, what did I just do? Well, then yes, you got scammed. You 100% got scammed because you should not be in something that you don't want. Hope this helps. Hope you got some true value. Please like and subscribe. And until the next time.
Hey, I want to thank you so much for watching this video to the end. This video is on life insurance, and if you have more questions about life insurance, infinite banking, why you should overfund it, we have a link below that goes to our And Asset Vault. This is a free vault that gives you everything you need to know about life insurance. We have case studies, we have a calculator on there, we have a handbook, we have frequently asked questions, we go through a process. I have my masterclass on there. We literally want to be the one-stop shop for every life insurance decision. And so if you want to learn more, click the link below, and we look forward to educating and maybe opening your mind and eyes to the power of life insurance.